Howdy.
It is another glorious evening and a great day to be on the right side of the ground.
Every day on the right side of the ground is a good day.
That's kind of my philosophy. I mean, if I'm breathing when I wake up, I'm good to go.
Right?
I'll take the aches, pains, whatever with it.
Oh, yeah.
I can work that shit out. So, but anyways, good evening, everyone. Glad you're here. We promise to be as entertaining as possible. And before we get started, let me put some boilerplate shit out there for everyone. We're here for purely entertainment purposes only.
Like Laurel and Hardy.
That's it. If we say anything on here, it is meant for entertainment purposes only. We in no way are trying to incite or what's the word I'm looking for? Encourage illegal or anti-government behavior. Live it, learn it, know it.
Love it.
Wink.
Great movie.
So that being said, let's move right on. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry I was interrupting you. I just wanted to boilerplate shit out of the way.
Oh, no. I said that was a great movie. I love Fast Times.
Oh, man. Talk about flashbacks. I forgot
Yeah.
all about that damn movie. That's my school.
It's my skull, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Mr. Hand.
Mr. Han, if it's my time and it's your time, isn't it our time? I love that show. Yeah, great show.
A true American classic.
Yeah, it is.
That being said, I guess everyone's seeing our title tonight, Sanctuary My.
Something.
That's it. Everybody can spell. I don't want any of the brown shirts to spill their lattes, so I'm trying to keep it PG-13. So, that being said, we're going to start off tonight talking about all the great sanctuary locales in this country. Specifically, some I've been made aware of here in the Southeast, in the Georgia area, no less. And I want to impart some of that wonderful knowledge to all our people out here, just so you can be as infuriated as the people who live in Georgia.
Oof.
I'm sure it's not the only place, but here in the Southeast, I think it's pretty interesting. And Sax Man, your background too, I'm sure you can chime in and be familiar with what I'm talking about here. The thing that always baffles me is when you make a sanctuary city, the whole premise is that you're limiting the federal government's interaction with immigration, naturalization, the ICE people that try to keep us safe when they're not pigeon-toed. These are the same fucking people who bitch and moan when, for instance, Texas stands up and says, hey, the federal government's not doing their job, so we're going to do it. Okay? They bitch when the opposing side says, yeah, no, that's not working for us, but it's okay for them to do it.
Yeah. So these are the same people that will throw in your face, oh, your president's been, he's a criminal. He's done all this and this and this. Okay. So by making yourself a sanctuary city,
right?
You obviously have had the sheriff, the mayor, city council. They're aware of this, correct?
Sheriff, police chiefs, DAs. Let's just run down the list.
So all of these are law enforcement, folks, right?
A lot of them are people.
Yeah. So our immigration laws, since they're controlled by, the police they are policed by ICE, which is a federal agency, correct? Okay. Now, even though probably what a misdemeanor or something like that if you come across, aren't you aiding and abetting um, criminals coming into the country? And if you're going to do what these idiots did in Georgia and decide that they're going to do RICO charges on a former president, which all RICO charges is basically a whole bunch of you're in a conspiracy to commit a crime, right? That's there's probably more involved, but that's it. Is you have more than one person doing something that's illegal, all for one purpose. So, wouldn't that mean that you not only have people in the federal government, but state governments, city governments, county governments that are aiding and abetting criminals, and nobody will? I mean, and CIS, what I showed you earlier, Center for Immigration Studies, Red Cross, all of these places. Why are they not being, the CEOs and the COOs and stuff like that? Why are they not getting hauled off to jail? Why are they not getting fines? Why is no fucking lawyer in the country coming up and saying, "Hey, uh, this is against the law, against the federal law," and the left is always federal above state anytime because they hate states' rights. Uh, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It's a double standard. I mean, going back to what you just brought up about the Center for Immigration Studies, which just blows my fucking mind. UN budgets millions for U.S. bound migrants in 2024. Help me to motherfucking understand why we charter these motherfuckers in New York, in the United States, and they're openly helping to fund getting all these fuckers into our country illegally.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's not just our country. It's basically the Western world. You're talking about Western Europe, Spain, Italy, Greece, France, Germany, all these places, even the Netherlands, and it's a replacement. That's what it is.
Yeah.
The whole this has killed that whole narrative that you used to hear throughout the 70s and 80s of, well, we have to bring these people in and at least have them do work visas because they do the jobs that nobody else wants to, and which was bullshit in the first place. Because if you look back, even in elementary school, things like painting and farming and painters, farmers, all of this stuff were respectable jobs until they weren't, until you had people coming in and saying, "I no habla, but I can pull up lettuce." Okay, well, fuck yeah, come on in. NAFTA also killed that too. But yeah, you're right. We're going to become an endangered species in our own country.
Well, okay, I'm sitting here, I'm reading this shit, right? Hold on, I gotta come on, scroll back because let me go back to it. All right, I'm sorry, I'm beating the same horse, but it just pisses me off. I'm reading this from their website, so if the brown shirts are getting all hot and bothered, they can go and see where I'm referencing my fucking material. A United Nations-led Regional Refugee and Migrant Response Plan, RMRP, sounds like some Canadian shit to me.
Right.
Calls for more than 200 nonprofit groups to dole out $1.6 billion in cash, debit cards, food, clothing, medical treatment, shelter, and even humanitarian transportation. What the fuck is humanitarian transportation? Is that a Greyhound instead of a Jackass?
No, that's getting on an airplane in front of people that have actually paid for.
You're right. I'm sorry. I don't know what air conditioning. And plumbing. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah. Okay. All right. So thank you for clearing that up because I totally missed that one. And it says during the 2024 to millions of U.S. bound millions, not thousands, not hundreds, millions of U.S. bound immigrants in 17 Latin American nations and Mexico. That tells you our border is fucked up. When you've got the entire fucking United Nations helping to fund bringing motherfuckers in from 17 different fucking locations. We're not talking about all the motherfuckers are just randomly appearing from the fucking Middle East and the Chinese fucking military age males that look like they're about to jump out of one of their fucking transports and take over some shit. And don't forget about their nice 511 threads that most of us can't fucking afford to wear.
Right.
I mean, fucking hey, I wish I had me a wardrobe of damn nice pressed 511s. I'd wear the shit out of them. See, I'm a working guy. I gotta go and fucking look for that shit secondhand on eBay and shit. I can't run up to the supply place and say, yeah, I need to get me 5 pairs of those. Thank you, sir. That'll be $500. Whatever.
Right.
But yet these motherfuckers come rolling up in here clean and wearing better clothes than we fucking have.
Yeah, when you when you're wading across the border and you're still topping 250, 260 pounds, you did not walk 200 or 300 miles to do that.
No.
You were probably paid and dropped off, or at least dropped off 2 or 3 miles maybe behind the border, or in front of the Mexican. And what kills me, okay, again, if Trump was in office, we would be, by now we would be charging by the head the Mexican government, saying you need to keep these people on that side of your border, or any funding that we send you is gone. Bye. See ya. We can go ahead and classify your cartels as terrorists, and that means automatically, boom, if they're caught on American soil, we'll just come in with a regular army and kill them.
Well, theoretically, if they have terrorist organizations, quote unquote, operating within their borders and they're a danger to us, we technically could say this is a police action, and we could do to them kind of like what we did in Gulf War to Iraq.
That would be awesome. But here's the thing. I mean, it's a fact that you have cartels operating on our side of the border.
Mm-hmm.
You have farmers and ranchers and stuff like that, and this is not just in Texas. This is Texas, Arizona, California, Nevada. These folks are embedded. They're up in the hills. I mean, it's just like Afghanistan.
Yep, absolutely.
And they're operating with impunity because ICE, as good as they are, gets. Unfortunately, you have people. Yeah, exactly. You're in handcuffs because you have people like Mayorkas and Pedo Joe up there that will not do anything to them.
Nope. That's their future voters. Well, here's another thing. Let's just go ahead and keep kicking this down the. down the block here about all the illegals. I would like for you to share your source and what you witnessed on the one video you're just talking about before, we're backstage. I think everybody will appreciate that.
Oh, the the one in New York.
Your dues.
Oh yeah. So I'm sitting there watching an Instagram reel, and this gentleman, I'll call him a gentleman. This is probably what they do in their country anyway, depending on what country he came from. But he's sitting in the subway terminal. He's up on one of the pylons, reading his phone that was probably given to him at the border. Drop trowel. The boys hanging out, dropping a deuce. People are walking by. No cops are stopping him. And he's doing his business up there. And here's the thing that kills me is the fact we already have, and this is going to tie in. Sorry, this is going to tie into some other stuff, but we already have people like that here. After the leftists back in the 70s and 80s decided to close down sanatoriums, stuff like that, where you could actually house and help people with mental disorders. They said, no, that's horrible. We can't do that. We can't institutionalize people. So now they're on the streets. That's not, mental illness is what it is. It's an illness. It's not bad. But we already have that shit here. We don't need any more of it coming across the border. You want doctors, lawyers, engineers, stuff like that. Stuff that can be beneficial. But the other thing that kills me is the fact that with the amount of money that we send every year to foreign countries, and not just the ones that you're probably thinking of, Ukraine and Israel right now, but the amount of money, no other country on the fucking planet sits there and taxes their own citizens and then sends that money to other countries. No country does that. You know why? Because it's fucking stupid. Yeah, that they can't afford it. And neither can we, but we'll do it anyway. Shit.
Well,
it's just our our grandkids, our great grandkids, our great great grandkids' money. And hell, the Fed even says, what's her name? Yellen or I can't remember the person's name, but anyway, we'll just print more.
That's Janet Yellen.
Yeah, your dollar won't mean anything, and it doesn't already anyway because other countries are already starting to say, you know what, the American dollar is no longer as stable as it used to be. It's not worth anything. There's a lot of it out there, and most of it's counterfeit. So we're going to go to either the yen or, pick something cool that has a funny foreign sounding name, and that's what we'll go with.
Yep, I agree. I mean, well, you got to look who's at the helm, dude. I mean,
Oh yeah.
We've got the biggest man. But and one thing I'm gonna point out, and I'm not trying to take the side against the U.S. or against the dollar, but just hear me out. We kind of set ourselves up for this, in a manner of speaking, way back down the road before all this. Most of our leaders have taken it for granted that we're just where we're at. Let's cash in on this, that, and other. Rather than understanding that we need to be building bridges and doing things to incentivize countries using the dollar instead of just trying to be the biggest swinging dick.
Right.
And I think what's happened, like Jay just said about BRICS, he's right. You know, we created that. Well, no, excuse me, not we per se, but the current fucking administration helped bring it about.
Right.
Okay. When we started playing games with the world markets and shit, that created BRICS. Because up until that, the world was perfectly cool using the US dollar as long as it was beneficial to their governments and their economies. What's happened is you've made the fucking US dollar toxic. And all these countries have used it to trade on the world market. Said, fuck that. Time to go back to gold and silver, you know.
Yeah.
And we should never gotten away from gold and silver to begin with, but that's because we got a bunch of fucking crooks in DC that don't want to guarantee the money, just want to print it. Their solution is just print more.
Yeah.
And if you understand economics and you understand how economies work and how trade works and things like this, you can't just print fucking money. There's got to be something to back it up or it's worthless. You can wipe your ass with it and make paper airplanes. And, you know, here we are. All of us have paid into things like Social Security or 401ks or, you know, bought stocks and bonds, whatever. If we don't get a handle on these fucking morons at the helm in Washington and try to do a damn U-turn, we're going to be fucked. We're all going to be fucking broke because all that money we've been putting away in these various different things is going to self-destruct.
Oh yeah, I mean it's worthless.
Yeah.
And what? Okay, so you know, whenever Congress decides, hey, we're going to send another $139 billion to Ukraine, why don't the people get a say in that?
I'm fucking A, dude. I've been saying that for ever, as long as you know me.
Yeah.
See, somewhere something in translation got lost with these fucking idiots in DC, these bottom feeders. They seem to think that they make the rules and they just do what the fuck they want. We got to roll with it. That's not how it's supposed to be. We should have a say in any fucking policy, especially national policy or world policy that they're trying to fucking institute at our expense.
Yeah, at our expense.
Yeah, if they're wanting to go bail out Dick Piano and all his shit, it should have had to come before the fucking American people and we all go vote on it. It's either a yay or nay. Either fuck you or get after it. One or the other.
Yeah.
Because I'm here to tell you, I was going to give them the finger. Because we've got homeless vets on our streets that can't feed themselves, can't clothe, can't put a roof over their fucking head. But we can take care of fucking illegal immigrants that we know are here as bad players. Like that Middle Eastern guy they had on video a while back. Remember the one that said, "You don't know who I am, but you will soon."
Yeah.
Dude, I would tasered your bitch ass right there on the spot, hog-tied you with some fucking big-ass zip ties, and drug you over the nearest cactus and kicked you a couple times to get you to explain to me what you meant by that.
Right.
Off camera, of course.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, that just shows you how far we have turned from a country that, you know, decided a 3% tax on tea was, you know, over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And now more than half of your check, more than half of your dollar is taxed and double taxed and triple taxed. And it happens, and it's like, oh, okay, well that's new.
Yeah.
I don't remember being able to say yay or nay on this. So that whole taxation without representation thing is still going on because they will add it to, well, you like the immigration bill, was, yeah, we'll do something for immigration. Not really specific. We'll just throw some money at it. But we got to have 139 billion because Uglov Nigandag over in fucking Ukraine, can't get his government pension now because yes, you, the American taxpayer, are funding government pensions in Ukraine. You're not necessarily, giving them bombs and bullets. You're funding their pensions. So
yeah. So think about that, folks. We don't need our pensions. We're just fucked.
Yeah.
But we're gonna make sure that Dick Piano and his people have them. So
all I'm saying is, a few years of isolationism and nationalism might not be a bad thing. I'm not saying go full fascist. I'm just saying, you know what? It's time to look out for the American public and actual American citizens instead of people from, who gives a fuckistan, that have, magically appeared on the Mexican border.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's a novel idea, building off your suggestion. How about we close our fucking borders? We recall all our military personnel. If you're not in a U.S. held base or if it's a military installation that we're assigned to, fine. But as far as all these countries where we're trying to get their power back on or give them shitters or whatever, you're out. You go to the next galaxy and get your ass home.
Yeah, I mean,
bring everybody home. Okay, close our borders, and then take a hard look at Mexico and say, you've got one of two options. A, fix your shit and stop sending everybody to our border because it's fucking closed for business for now. Or all these motherfuckers we just brought back on the C5 Galaxies that have been killing people for the past 20 years, we're going to deploy them to your border. Except the difference is they're not going to stop at the border.
Right.
We're going to clear out root and stem all the fucking corrupt drug motherfuckers in your country and anybody affiliated with them. They're not going to Gitmo. They're going in the ground. Deuces. Because that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Do that and see how fast the world does a 180. When they see that America's back to being America instead of, we don't want to offend nobody. They've got two moms, or they identify as a hubcap, and you can't say they don't go by ma'am or sir. It's a it. No, all that shit's out the window, buddy. Just stop. Stop buying all the rubber dog shit from China. Start making shit here. Give China this right here. Give them the finger. Say, fuck you. Eat rice, dog, whatever the fuck it is you like over there. You ain't getting no more pork from us, motherfucker. You're done. See if you can sell your shit to somewhere else. China talks about, they already can't fucking feed themselves because there's too fucking many of them. And I've seen China's not that much of a badass. Yes, they've got a military, but they will implode if they don't have money to fund all their fuckery.
Exactly. And any technology they have is generally stolen from the U.S.
That's it. Let it fucking go. Now, if you want to protect Taiwan, I understand, but if we bring everything back here, is Taiwan really that important?
Taiwan, the whole thing about Taiwan is kind of, you know, yeah, it would be cool to be able to, but I almost think that's almost an instinctual American thing, is that, you know, when you see people that are oppressed by stuff like communism, socialism, stuff like that, like literally oppressed by it or threatened by it, you want to step up. You want to be the guy that confronts the bully in the
Sure,
room, right?
sure.
Now, does you know does is Taiwan a, you know, a strategic thing for us? Yeah. So is Midway. So is Guam. So is Japan. So is South Korea. But you know, maybe it's time to say, hey, Japan, you can have your own actual Army, Navy, and Air Force again instead of your Defense Force. Um, because you're badasses anyway. We just decided to import, you know, two portable sons over there and fix that for you. Um,
Well, they did kind of poke the bear.
yeah, multiple times. Um, but yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying. Is just, you know, pull back, lessen everything,
Yeah.
And let's watch the world do what the world does, and, you know, by the time it happens, we can either save Europe again, um, or you know, we can save Asia again. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I want you to think about this for a minute, okay? Now, I know we're down a rabbit hole. We'll get back on track in a minute, but this is a fun rabbit hole. Out of Europe, I want you to think about this. Out of Europe, how many countries really stand by the United States?
Great Britain
That's it.
won. Yeah.
The UK, God save the Queen. I don't like Charles, so I'm not saying God save the King. Great Britain, I might have their back. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there's one other country I would consider helping, and that's simply out of, I just feel like you got to help them or got to protect them, and that's Israel. But other than those two, you know,
yeah, exactly.
kind of on your own. I've never grasped, you know. Let's go back to World War II just for a minute, and I promise I'll get off my soapbox. Germany and China were the axis of evil, or Japan, I'm sorry, during World War II. They're fighting us, you know. We're fighting on two sides, blah, blah, blah. Why is it that we feel that we're obligated to go back into a country and fucking fix it after they tried to kick our teeth
in? Yeah, I haven't.
You brought it on yourself. Mm-hmm. It's called cause and effect. Every action has a reaction. You fucked around and you poked a fucking bear, and the bear didn't shit on you, it bit your ass.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, what other country in the world has ever done that after any war? Come in and said, hey, you know what? Everything's cool. Let's go ahead and build your country back again.
Well, it's like it wasn't the people. Well, yeah, it kind of was. Yeah, maybe not everybody, but the country and the society of said country supported said war effort. I mean, if anything, it should be a lesson not to let their government do what it did.
Right.
But instead, we come in with Hershey bars and bulldozers and fix shit. And at our expense. I mean, look at the Middle East. I mean, how many motherfuckers out there? And I don't have statistics. I'm just pointing this out. How many military service members and contractors have gone into these shit kicker camel shit brown huts and towns, climbed up a fucking pole to fix electricity or fix plumbing and get fucking shot at by another motherfucking towel head because we're there as a target.
Oh yeah. Exactly. I mean,
Fucking leave. Let them fix the shit. If they want to sit there and wipe their ass with their hands and have to shit in a slit trench and goddamn cholera and shit running loose in the damn streets, that's on them. You shouldn't have fucked with us. How about getting one of your royal princes or all that fucking oil money or whatever the hell it is and modernize your shit for your people? There's a novel idea. Pave some fucking roads and get some public transportation other than a fucking jackass in a cart. There's something.
Oh, yeah.
Just
yeah, exactly. You know, there's still so much money in Kuwait, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, all this stuff that's held by, you know, relatively few people, and which is probably why we never invaded Saudi Arabia instead of Iraq.
Yep.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just, you know what? After a while, it's time for you know, let the bully do what the bully does, and see if anybody else steps up to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
okay, let the Canadians do it. You know,
there you go. I think the French and the Canadians can handle it all.
Yeah.
They seem to have a real good grasp of what's going on. Let them handle it.
Right.
We'll get back on track here. I digress. You know, we were talking about all the sanctuary shit, right?
Right.
All the illegals. I know. I'm just going to read you some stuff from some shit that's gone down in Georgia. Some of you may or may not be aware of it. For those of you who follow college football, everybody's familiar with Georgia Bulldogs, right? Just like Clemson, LSU, whatever. Well, back earlier in February, they found a UGA nursing student dead. And 22-year-old, looked like she's a $120 soaking wet, maybe. I mean, little big girl. Jose Ibarra, one of our fine illegal folks from Venezuela, thought it would be cool to kill her, you know. So here again, the Fed has let some shit like this. They don't want to do that about the border, but here you got an innocent life taken. A college student just doing her own thing, not hurting anybody, and this evil fuck decides, I'm gonna kill her. Let's go a step further than that. UGA is located in I'm going to say north central-ish Georgia.
Right.
And Clark County is the county in which the campus resides. Well, Clark County is considered a sanctuary city.
Yeah.
So think that through for a minute. Yes, Athens. Thank you, Vanguard. It's considered a sanctuary city. And here's the thing. Had they been doing their fucking job, now think about it. If your child goes to this college and you're paying all that fucking money, whether you're a resident of Georgia, resident of Texas, wherever the fuck you're from, your kid's going to UGA. You're paying all that fucking money and your child is in danger on campus or the surrounding area because it's a fucking sanctuary city.
Makes you feel safe, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's great to know. I'm sure, you know, the dean and the board of directors and everything at the college, they thought, hey, good times. Let's promote them gender studies and let these folks have a place to stay. There you go. Good choice. So now you got this young lady dead for no reason other than evil and just straight up fuckery in DC.
Right.
And local government too, because they've got a hand in this. They've got blood on their hands.
Oh, they're complicit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whole fucking bunch of them. But you know, let's don't let them have all the spotlight because they're not alone. Let's dig just a little bit deeper. Again, this goes back to the conversation we were in the beginning where they were talking about, you know, they limit the Fed cooperation with the federal government. Now, I find it ironic that these blue shitholes, because that's what I'm going to call them, because it's got to be liberals doing this, that it's okay for them to thumb their nose at a liberal federal government, which isn't really enforcing shit anyways. But it's okay for them to just do as they please and pick and choose what rules they want to help cooperate with. But if it was let's say it was Texas. You already see the outcry about the immigration. Let's say it's the state of Missouri, where they're not wanting to cooperate with the Fed on, you know, the whole NFA shit. You know, right. ATF, the Bureau of Tobacco Firearms. It should be Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Fuckery. I think that's a better terminology for them. But they're limiting any access the Fed has there. But that's a hue and a cry. We can't have that. That's insurrectionists. Okay? They're fucking words. But yet, get a blue shithole to thumb their nose at something, and all of a sudden, oh, it's okay. More power to the people. But I bet their fucking tune would change if it was their child or grandchild that got smoked by one of these shitbags. Or would they try to excuse it and blame it on Trump like they do every fucking thing else? Going back to what I was saying, Clark County is not the only fucking place, Athens, Georgia, which is where this happened. And this guy looks like a real prize winner, although he's in nice clothes. I mean, I'm sure, you know, he's working somewhere to get them. I'm sure, you know, he earned those.
Absolutely.
But let's look at some other places. It's not just, you know, there, but the whole fucking city of Atlanta is that way. Which is great. I mean, good choices. Atlanta's a whole nother section. That's a whole nother segment we can do just on that show. There's a little bitty pissant town, a little bit northeast of Atlanta called Clarkston.
Oof.
If you speak English, you're probably gonna be an outlier. To give you an idea of the quality of this town, okay? Just I myself have been through it. I've worked it. I wouldn't walk down that street without body armor and a sidearm. And there's a fucking college campus right in the middle of it. All right. I'll go a step further than that. There's a high school there under the same name. Okay. To give you an idea of the quality that this place is, and they're not allowed to ask immigration status, and it's okay, you know, to be from wherever and do shit. Years ago, they had a kid in-house suspension. And for those of you who don't know what in-house suspension is, it's when you get suspended, but your ass has to come to school and sit in the same room all fucking day. Anyways, throughout some part of the day, kid comes up, knocks on the door. Teacher answers. Yeah, I'm here to see so-and-so, one of the kids that was there, or I'm here to give something to him or whatever. So teacher says, hey, so-and-so, come to the door, somebody's here for you. When the kid gets to the door, now the dude in the hall pulls out a handgun, point blank, shoots this kid in the head. Okay? I don't know what deity this kid worshiped, the one that got shot. I mean, I don't remember his nationality because it's been years ago. But the bullet hit the kid in the head and ricocheted and went up into the ceiling. Okay. This happened in the middle of a school day now. Stay with me. In the fine town of Clarkston. The kid proceeds to chase this motherfucker down the hall and down a stairwell and out the front of the school. Okay. I'm not making this shit up.
Right.
I mean, it's some straight up John Wick shit. All right. But I digress. The point I'm making is this happened in the same fucking little town that they're talking about. That's a sanctuary city. Now, it's already a seedy ass place to begin with, and then you allow it to become a sanctuary city. What do you think's going to happen? Do you think everybody's going to be walking around singing Kumbaya and shit? No. It's going to be covered up. And it is.
And it will be allowed to be just like Honduras or Guatemala in that area. And don't forget, and I don't, in the 20 seconds that I was muted there, but I don't know if you mentioned Pendergrass.
Oh,
where they literally drop these folks off at. You know, that area, beautiful area, or used to be. And again, I'm just waiting for something like that to pop off there.
Well, Pendergrass is kind of a unique place. Definitely different.
Oh, yeah, it's different.
I mean, it gives you if you've never been out of the country into a bazaar or some shit like that, go to Pendergrass and you'll know what it's like.
It literally is like walking through. If anybody has ever been to the big outdoor flea market in San Antonio, that's what Pendergrass is in the middle of Georgia. Make that make sense.
Bruh. My illustrious leader, Vanguard, he sent me some much better information on the whole situation that happened in Athens with, I may be pronouncing her first name wrong, and I truly apologize for him, but it's Lakin Riley. The Venezuelan migrant illegally crossed the Mexican border into Texas in 2022. They did charge him with murder. The Biden administration, bedshitter in charge, released the Venezuelan national into El Paso, where he was listed as an NGO in New York City as his destination. So he ended up in Atlanta, or a suburb of Atlanta, but you were destined for New York. Think that one through.
Right.
New York is a center for a lot of fuckery. A lot of immigrants come into the country. I used to work with a guy who was Jamaican. He was an American citizen too. He had dual citizenship, I guess. But the way a lot of them came into the country is it was too hard to come in from Jamaica. If I'm not mistaken, what they do is they come into Canada, and then they would relocate to New York.
Nice.
And New York was like a hub for them to come into, and then filter to wherever they want to go. And I think that's the way New York is for a lot of different immigration issues, whether it's legal or illegal. Because you've got entire boroughs that are one nationality or another, and they harbor all that shit.
Right.
And New York's turned into a fucking cesspool. I mean, it's just a step away from, having Snake Plissken flying a fucking glider across.
Exactly.
I mean, that was a pretty damn good portrayal. And actually, they kind of need to do that shit now.
Which is crazy because, who was the Republican guy that was in there that cleaned it up there for a few years?
Oh, you're talking about
until
he was on Trump's team.
Was it Giuliani?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giuliani.
Cleaned it up. I mean, relatively speaking, it was for that many people that in that small an area, he had cleaned it up pretty good, and then they decided, you know what, we'll do a Democrat again, or a fake Republican, and they fucked it all up.
It just. You want to hear more on this fucker in Athens?
Oh yeah.
All right. I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was just saying, do you want me to?
No.
We went down another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I guess the officials in El Paso sector became overwhelmed that month with the new surge that began, and the surge began because bedsitters weren't enforcing the borders. The city of El Paso reported that migrant releases by the Biden administration rose from 250 a day in August to as high as 1,000 a day by September of that year. Now, before the brown shirts spill their latte and start trying to do a strike against this fucking channel, this is all being reported from, let's see, let me make sure. Looks like it's coming off of X, but I might be wrong. Vanguard, if I'm wrong, just shoot me the proper information or correct me, because it was forwarded to me from Vanguard, but it's a post. It's not, or it's an actual news article. It's not some shit I'm making up. I mean, probably can't see it, but it's on my phone right there. That's not some shit I made up.
Right.
But the point I'm making is that this is the kind of shit that this is a worst case. Well, not worst case. It could be far worse. This is one of the worst case scenarios that came to fruition and cost a young lady her life that should have never been in danger to begin with. Let's go a step further with all these fuckers that are coming into the country. Let's say that it was on X. I was right. Thank you, brother. Let's say that one of these military-age males from one of these countries that generally doesn't like us, whether they're from the fucking Sudan or China or Butt-Fuckistan, and they come here. Let's say that they decide to set some off in a fucking rail station or take out a power grid somewhere, or, whatever kind of fuckery, makes them stay warm at night. I don't know. And instead of one young lady losing her life, hundreds or thousands of people lose theirs. All for government fuckery. Does that seem fair to you?
Oh, absolutely, it does. Because, they're just looking for another life, man. They're looking for a better life.
Right. All those motherfuckers from Saipan that were standing up at the border, in their nice new pressed 511s with their buzz cut and clean shaven. Yeah, they're looking for a better life.
for their families that they didn't bring over and future generations, man.
Yep. You're right. I'm sure that's what it was. They're here to pick heads of lettuce in Southern California.
It's a melting pot, buddy.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be one thing if people were genuinely trying to come here. Let's say that it's an actual, excuse me, let's say it's an actual Mexican families trying to come over. I actually have compassion for that because their country's a shithole. And they can't organize for shit because everything around them's fucking corrupted. From the fucking local police to the fucking cartels to the fucking government. Hell, who are they going to turn to damn rise up and do something? Everybody's fucking against them. So they're trying to say, fuck it, let's have the U.S. All right, I understand. I have some sympathy for you. But all these other fucking countries, especially the ones that aren't located in this hemisphere, that their motherfuckers are showing up.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
Or no, go ahead, buddy. No. Go ahead.
You're going to have to break it down for me. What twisted ass Twilight Zone episode motherfucking place do you think this is okay? Because it's blatantly obvious that there's fuckery going on from the top down, and that shit's flowing downhill like a fucking avalanche.
Oh, yeah.
Now, whether you like Texas or not, whether you like the governor there or not, at least he's trying to stop it for his own fucking, whether it's his own reasons or not, he's trying to stop it for the population there in his state, which is his job. If the Fed ain't going to do their job, it's his job to step up and make it done. See that happens. That's why he's there. That's why he's a governor.
That's why he's a governor.
And, you know, kudos to all the other states that are sending him support, whether it's military aid, you know, equipment, personnel, whatever logistical support. Hey, props.
Yep.
But it's got to stop, because my philosophy is if you're a sanctuary city, town, county. Oh, speaking of which, you'll enjoy this. DeKalb County. If you're familiar with DeKalb County, Saxman.
Fuck DeKalb County.
It's a sanctuary county.
Yeah,
Isn't that great? Isn't that great?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that being said, I digress again. You know, if you want to be a sanctuary city, town, whatever the fuck you are, campground, whatever it is you think you need to be and be a sanctuary, and say, oh, they can all come here and hang out and do their funky shit and not assimilate. Any fucking government aid you get, whether it's local, state, or federal, should be removed. Yep. So if you're, let me just break it down for the people who are scratching their head and eating their crayons right now. Let's say that you're a county and you say, well, I'm going to make my county a sanctuary county because I believe all of y'all are God's children and you should be able to come here regardless of whatever kind of fuckery you're bringing with you, because we need voters. All right. Well, if I was the governor, I'd say, okay, that's cool. You now get no logistical support from the state. That means no state patrol. That means no state funds. That means no DOT. That means no parks. That means anything that my state provides for your fucked up county, you can take care of. Maybe you get some of your illegals to help you take care of it.
Right. I love it.
Furthermore, if we had a president that wasn't busy shitting the bed and sniffing underoos, he should step up, or she. I'm cool either way. I don't care. I'm not somebody who's threatened by a woman being in charge. If they do the shit right, I don't give a damn what their plumbing is. They should say, you know what, since you apparently have some warped ideas, I'm with your governor. Yeah, all federal funds are cut. That means if you've got like, I don't know, like here's an interesting notion that many of you may not know. public schools, they're subsidized by the Fed for like lunches.
Oh yeah.
Yank all that funding. Yank the funding for transportation. Yank the funding for housing. Yank the funding for fucking everything.
Yeah, anything that has a federal tag.
Yeah, and you know what you could do too if you want to really fuck with them? I'm sure there's something to protect them from doing this, but as much fuckeries goes on in D.C., I'm sure they can find a way to just ignore the law because they do it all the time. All these state employees that pay into federal programs for retirement, for instance, liquidate it.
Nice.
If not liquidate it, everything they're paying from that point forward is redistributed somewhere else. It doesn't go into their retirement.
I like that.
I mean, start holding motherfuckers accountable. So if you pay into let's say you pay into a state retirement. Let's say you're a teacher, for instance, right? And you're paying into state retirement. Because, you know, them motherfuckers are blue card carrying motherfuckers right there. A bunch of
Oh, yeah.
Not knocking teachers. Somebody's got to teach our kids. I get it. I don't have the tolerance for it and never will. If you want to be a sanctuary county, all your teachers that work in your county, yeah, all that money they're paying into their retirement just went into state funds. It doesn't count for the retirement. You can explain to your teachers why.
Right.
Now, granted, this is like a Hidden Valley Ranch commercial or a Walgreens commercial. We know this shit ain't gonna happen. I'm just putting it out there. What ifs? Because if any of these things took place and were implemented, you would see shit change overnight. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, one of my last throwouts there is you have to get on, you know, pick a social media platform. It doesn't really matter. But to see all of these, you know, states that say, "Hey, why don't you sponsor a, you know, a family coming in?" and then what you got to do is see the reactions of these people that have brought them in and like, "Oh my God, this is great." You know, they're cooking. You know, they're doing all this. So basically, they have reinstituted slavery. You know, these are the people that are, you know, so slavery is a horrible thing. But you know, they've not only reinstituted segregation, but slavery as well. It's the Democrat way. You know, and if you think I'm lying or kidding, look it up. It's there. It's a thing.
Well, don't forget to tell them about what happens when you have, you know, somebody who doesn't fit into your family structure. You know, like takes a shit in the kitchen or
Oh yeah, exactly.
Likes to eat your dogs and stuff like that. Tell them about that.
Right? Oh yeah. I mean, you know, cat on a spit is, you know, probably a delicacy somewhere. Maybe not in Minnesota, but get used to it.
Well, remember, they can't, if they let them live in their house, they can't evict them.
Yeah.
So see, you're stuck with them. So it's like you get a bad apple from Botswana, and
yeah, not only does he eat your dog, he's going to stay in your house for forever.
Yeah, you can't get rid of him. You have no legal recourse because you invited the fucker in.
Yeah.
So Deuce is there. Good choice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, government fuckery at its finest.
Oh yeah.
As if the American taxpayer isn't getting fucked enough already. Go ahead and take in some illegals and help them bill off your teeth instead of the government's. Yeah, okay. My civic duties tell the federal government to kiss my ass.
Right?
Just saying. So, all right, Vanguard. I know we've been keeping you on here too damn long, so we're gonna wrap shit up. Sax man, give us some words of wisdom as we jump off here tonight.
Okay. Let's see. As always, don't trust your government, but with the caveat of, you know, look at where this country has been. Look at how we were made, and look at what we've become. We have become what we were fighting against. When we started. So there's that. Man, other than staying vigilant to everything around you, and these people that we have put in power, hold them accountable. Call them, write them, send them a fucking email, send them a lot of emails. Get your friends and family to do it as well. We're at a tipping point, folks. We're either going to go back to American values or we're going to become fucking Canada. So that's what I got.
Such a great thought. Us becoming Canada 2.0.
Right.
Damn. Where gender studies is a required subject.
Yeah. Don't be a Christian. Yeah.
Anyways, first and foremost, thank all of you for putting up with us and joining us tonight. Whether you just dropped in or you stuck around for the whole thing or you're going to come back later, thank you for checking us out. Again, everything we say here is for strictly entertainment purposes. We are not trying to incite or encourage anything that might be deemed illegal, immoral, or insurrectionists. That being said, get out there, pay attention to what's going on around you, both locally, nationally, internationally. There's just so much evil and fuckery in the world. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen next. You need to be as self-sufficient as you possibly can and be vigilant as much as you possibly can because your family is relying on you. I can't stress that enough. Your country needs you. If we have any chance of getting some of the things back that we're about to lose or have lost, get involved if you can. Whether it's being a poll watcher, whether it's something, working one of the for one of the candidates you like, if it's something local, or try to get out, whatever you can do to assist. Go to a rally. If Trump comes somewhere near you, make a damn road trip and be there. Show support. Anything. Because all these damn Monday night quarterback motherfuckers, whatever you want to call them, the ones that show up after everything's over with and talk about how it should have been done, or waiting for somebody else to do it for them. You can't be that guy. You need to be somebody out there being involved. If we're going to take this country back and fix this fuckery, we're going to have to get our hands dirty.
Yep.
It is what it is. Somebody allowed it to get this way. We've got to be the ones to fix it because the next generation, no. We really dropped the ball. So that being said, thanks again, everybody, for being here. Try to stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, and we will see you possibly Thursday. We'll see. But stay frosty, everyone. Have a good evening. God bless.
Good night, kids.
Good night, everybody.